Find yourself a booth, order up a cold one. This is the Spring Bar.
Hey everybody, welcome to Spring Bar. Glad to have you here. I am Florida Mike. Today with my co-host Joan EOC, Casey, who you can't see. There's a lot of C's, but the one you can see is Mr. Michael Benavente. Gentlemen, how are we all doing this evening?
Cheers.
Excellent.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
So,
the ether.
yeah, for those of you who are watching and not listening, Casey is with us, but you can't see him. He's having camera
It's
issues.
spirit only.
I think for Christmas, we all need to chip in and get him a camera that works.
Yeah, that's fair.
KC may like it this way.
It's true.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I already don't really show my face as is. And
Exactly.
this heightens that, what is it, millennial douchebag?
Yeah, something like that. However it went. Oh, it's too funny.
Playing into the stereotype. Well done.
Let's jump into it. New watch alerts.
I have two that are en route.
No, not
outside
in
the
hand.
rules.
Not in hand. I got something from last week that I didn't get to show.
Oh, so do I.
That I forgot about. But
Yep.
because Michael's here, that makes this really ideal. And we're gonna quiz him and find out. Ready?
Okay. All right.
Pop quiz, Michael. Pop quiz.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
I saw that on your Instagram. It looks like it's from outer space. Maybe that went to the moon.
It could be. It could be. So this is the bull. It's a Barracuda by Bulova on the case back, and that's it.
It's so bad.
That's gotta be
It's so
80.
bad that Bulova didn't want to put their name on the front.
It's they're weird, man. They're weird. There's a couple different versions of it. This one, and like you got these triangles that are at 12 and 6. Those are actually part of the case, and they screw on. There's like this weird little application. So
They screw on?
There's screws on the back that hold that part on.
Can you take them off? Is it like a removable part of the lug system?
It is a removable part, but then you've got no way to affix the bracelet.
Okay.
I wish I was making it up, man.
What would possess you to buy that? Because there is far cooler stuff that has come up and you're like, oh, it doesn't say 666 on the dial. It has no use for it in my collection. So why did you buy that thing?
It's cool, man. I mean, look at that. Look
We'll
at
go with
that. That's just.
It is different.
It's different. But
that's the nicest thing Michael can say about it.
you smell that? smells like a reissue.
We don't have
a reissue.
We don't have that in the archive.
Yeah. Thankfully.
We don't claim that as our own.
Yeah.
It's weird. So there's a couple different versions of it. There's one that's more of like almost like a Seiko tuna, same kind of case with that weird sort of cowling over the top, almost similar colorways. There's a couple other versions that are similar to this. There's like 3 or 4 different ones. They all seem to be quartz.
So you've seen more than one of those?
Oh yeah, they're out there. You just have to know kind of what you're looking for, and they're weird, man. They're weird. It's cool though. Like it's a aluminum insert on the bezel, unidirectional bezel. Cathedral hands, quick set date. It's not a bad little package. Quartz movement. So yeah.
Okay.
I've done worse.
If you like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it. There's people comment. It's weird. So that's what I got.
Suits your personality well.
Well, that's also true. But so Michael, right. you got no comment on this one? You got no?
It looks very 80s to me. Bulova 80s. They did different things like that. So I would imagine it looks like circa that. I've never seen it really before, even from years ago. So it must be like early. I think it's early 80s because I haven't really seen that around. I will ask actually. If Mr. Carl Rosen is around next week, I'll ask him, our brand historian. I'm sure you've seen Carl around on different stuff.
Yeah, not in a while, but yeah, every once in a while. So, do you have anything new? Did you purchased?
I didn't purchase, but actually I wore it for today. It's the new Accutron
Oh,
TNA, which is coming out as we speak.
that's cool.
And this is kind of inspired by Casino, and all the vibrant colors that are, on Casino chips, and
Huh.
so we're coming out
It's
with
what color are the bridges? Because it's got that red background, right?
orange. It's all orange.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all orange. Yeah,
Oh,
you can't
orange with the gray bridges. Yeah, that's cool.
probably can't see it maybe perfectly there, but
All right. All right. Oh, that's I like that.
Oh, in the
yeah,
back too. Look at
That's
that.
cool. That's cool.
yeah.
Huh.
So that's just dropping now. That's coming out as we speak. Not limited edition, but I can tell you it's a limited run. They're not numbered, but we probably have a couple hundred of each color that'll be coming out.
Okay.
The red, orange, green, and yellow. So really,
I like
fun.
that. I like the orange and black. That's cool.
Yeah, this is my favorite personally, but I
Yeah.
like orange. Orange is one of my favorite colors as well. So
Yeah. Wow. So cool. So yeah, if you want one, jump on it because it sounds like
yeah, it's
there's
coming
not
out
many of
right
them.
now as we speak. I think we probably shipped a few last week, and the more coming out this coming week. So very topical this week.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. I'll keep the train moving. I have so one thing that I forgot to talk about last week, and I bought this, I don't even know how long ago. Somebody sent me a listing and said, "Hey, look at this. This is a cool old looking Caravelle for cheap." I think I bought it for like $35. This, I don't even remember what it's called. I'd have to look up again. But this is the Caravelle that has the only exhibition case back that was ever produced
Wow. Oh,
by
Yeah.
by Caravelle or Bulova.
Yeah.
So
At
this
least from
is,
that time period.
it's not even, there's no date code on it. I have to look at the movement, and man, that's really small here.
You
60 something.
need your readers, right?
Yeah, I
Unless
mean,
it's like
my
60, 67, 68 is what I
I
remember.
think this says 6.
I don't think we
6
have
maybe.
we don't have a Caravelle in the office that I've seen with an exhibition case back.
This was the only version of it. Like
Yeah,
I've seen him a couple. I know a couple other people that have got him, and the question was like, is that the original case back? That's not an afterman. Was like, oh no, they came that way, and it was part of the who Oliver showed us the ad. Somebody's got the ad, and it was part of the
yeah.
advertisement as well.
What's
Oliver
on the
had the
dial,
ads.
Mike? Mike, what's on the dial? What does it say on the
It's a very plain. It just says Caravelle. That's it.
dial?
It
Okay.
does not say water resistant as everything else did, because I imagine this caseback is not water resistant by any
So
stretch.
I'm going to
But
guess
it's
that watch is probably 62 to 65. I think it's earlier than 67.
Is there
I
anything
think the
that sticks?
movement has got a stamp. I think that says 6 on there. It's really, really tiny.
Yeah.
But this is, and it's funny because the only Caravelle to have the exhibition case back, and they used the 7 jewel movement. They didn't use
The 17.
the 17 or it's just very plainly decorated. It's not anything
Yeah.
special,
Is it
but it's
working?
just, oh yeah, it ticks right along. Keeps
Oh,
perfect
that's
time.
great.
I mean, this is excellent little buy. It's a chrome plated case. It is in perfect condition. It is a Caravelle stamped strap, although I'm not entirely sure this is the original to the watch, but it is a Caravelle strap on it.
Very
It
cool.
cleaned up beautifully. Yeah, it's really cool to have. Super under the radar. When you're looking at it, it's just a plain dress watch, but the party piece is on the back. So
Yeah.
yeah, real neat. I'm excited to have this one.
Yeah, they're neat. They're neat. And I don't know if it was part of the switch over to getting into the Miyota movements when the first deal with Citizen and just part of way to sort of display. It's like, oh, here's
Oh, well, you know
it's
what?
not a
Yeah.
Timex, it's not a pin lever movement. It's a real mechanical movement. See,
You know what? That's not a bad theory. That just might be. Yeah.
I do like that watch, Mike. I really do.
It's cool. It's cool. I probably
Great
wouldn't
story.
pay a whole lot much more for it, but it's a cool, nifty little piece to have hanging around.
Yeah.
The next one is kind of new to me. Joe, you knew about this one. You knew this watch was coming. I had no clue. So this is on long-term loan, as it's been put, but
Right.
this is a chronograph D. This
Yeah.
is the quote-unquote Heuer watch, as it's been referred to in the past. Tag Heuer has one that's very similar to it in design and style. The Valjoux typical two-register movement that you're going to find in a lot of the chronographs from that era. This is the gray dial, the white outer ring with the orange accents in the minute counter and the orange seconds hand. It's just cool. It's cool.
Hang
The
on a
first
second.
one I
Hang on.
saw.
Wait. Hang on.
Okay,
Have you wound it today?
it's running right now. Yeah,
Okay. Is the date set?
of course it is.
Just checking, right? Because
Yeah, why?
we share this watch now, and I constantly forget to set the date because I forget where the date is, and I for whatever reason it's got the date at 6, and that doesn't register with me, and I'll walk out the house and look down to check the date and realize like, oh, I forgot to. Oh,
My eyes are younger than yours, Joe. I can see better.
all right. I see how this episode's gonna go.
This came from Dave, our watch guy, and this is apparently an extra one that he had. It's a little peculiar in that it has a replacement pusher for the chronograph that is larger than the other one. You can notice it, and then sometimes it gets lost in the rest of the watch. But as I'm talking about it right now, it stands out. It's like it makes it look a little lopsided. So
paint it red, man. Paint it red. They'll be fine.
you know what? If there was something that differentiated a little bit more, it wouldn't be so bad. But it's cool. He sent it. He says, I know you like these. I have this one as an extra. He says, if you want to buy it from me, you can buy it. If not, just keep it, for a long-term loan. He says, I don't really need it for anything. So I've been wearing this. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool watch to have on the wrist. Yeah, it's cool. So that's what I have new. I have another thing next to me here, but we're going to talk about that later. For last calls, I got something to bring up, something interesting.
Well, okay, hang on. I have sort of there's one more sort of new watch alert.
Hold on. Is it in hand?
No.
Then you can't talk about it.
Oh no. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because like we stuff comes out. You see boxes arrive, and I got this box that showed up, but I hadn't ordered anything.
Oh, is this the fiasco?
KC knows what I'm talking about. So.
Oh yes.
Yeah, oh yes. Yeah. This is.
I mean, technically, I can see how you can make the argument. We talk about that. Yeah, why not?
Okay, let's do it. Right. Okay, so this shows up, and it's a post office, USPS box. I had sent Casey a watch. He has recycled the box, and he crossed out his address, but he didn't cross out mine as the return to address. And something happened, and USPS couldn't figure out where to send it to. One side of the box has got his address and who he was selling it to. Turn the box over, his address is crossed out, but my address is still there. They couldn't figure out where it is. They shipped it back to me.
this is something that you sold, Casey?
No, the KC sold to somebody else. It's like I opened it up and there's this Baylor. It's a nice little watch. I'm like, what? And so send Casey a message. I'm like, hey, I got your Baylor. He's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, which is a little nuts, right? So as you're sending the stuff through US Post, right? The guy's looking at the package, like, okay, cool, this is great. Hey, can you verify the address? I'm like, you're right, I can. Yep, this is the address I need you to send it to. He goes, great. Prints out a new label, puts new label on box. I'm like, well, shit, surely you can't mess this up. Because I've literally verified which address I want it to go to. And they still stuffed it. So Fine, yes, I'm a bad guy because I didn't cross out everything. But why did you have me confirm if you're just going to look me in the eyes and drop the ball anyway?
Well, it gets better though, right? Because I take it to the post office. I'm like, hey, all right, here's the deal. It needs to go here. You send it here. And the postal employee was very confused.
What state, just for reference, was it supposed to be in?
Freaking North Carolina.
It went all the way across the country.
Right. Wasn't supposed to leave the time zone at all. And so it was a long conversation with the postal employee. Like, no, not. He's like, well, which one are you? He's like, I'm here. This is my, but it shouldn't go to me. It's like, well, how did he get it? It's like, because I send it to, but he's not going to, no, he's sending it to, it needs to go, look, circle this one, cross this one out. They're like, okay, well, I hope it works. Okay.
You know what? I got a quick UPS story, a USPS story too. I had a watch that I sold to somebody so what's funny, made the deal on the watch, had the watch boxed up in my car. I was going to leave work and go straight to the post office to mail it. Before I left work, the buyer messaged me and says, hey, I got a question for you. I said, yeah, shoot, what do you got? And then I just got lost in changing and getting in the car and getting to the post office and all that kind of stuff. So when I left the post office, I thought, oh, shoot, he messaged me. So I read the message and it says, have you brought the watch to the post office yet? I'm like, you should have just led in with, hey, don't mail it.
Start with there.
Right?
Start with that. Oh, that's funny.
So he says, well, if you sent it, that's fine. He says, if you didn't, I was going to tell you not to. He says, because I want it to go to a different spot because I probably won't get it. I said, well, it's already gone. Let me try and put a intercept on it, and I'll just have it redirected back to me again, and then we'll start all over from scratch. So within hours of dropping it off to the post office, I did all the paperwork online for the intercept. It says, yep, not a problem. This package qualifies. We'll do it, all that kind of stuff. It didn't get flagged at my post office, which it still sat in. It didn't get flagged in the local sorting center. It didn't even get flagged at the sorting center of the destination. No, it made it all the way to the destination post office before it finally got flagged.
Oh, wow.
All the way back across the country again.
It's a pretty sick intercept.
It's at least you got intercepted. You're better off. And this is why Bolova.com ships with UPS.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, so I just jogged my memory. It's not a new watch alert, but it is a change to the collection. I did sell the Vacheron.
Did you?
Yes. So I picked it up for $2,000, right?
Right.
And then threw it up on eBay for $5,000.
And
right? And so then I get an offer. It's not for the full $5,000, but I'm looking at it going, this person's clearly intoxicated. Like, I would not make this offer, but okay. And I accept it.
Perfect.
It's $4,000 and some $100. So like I'm like poop my pants. This is like double my money. Now, of course, eBay comes in with their 35%, but you know what? I knew that going in because eBay, there's some pluses and minuses to it. Like, I don't think I would have sold it as easily if it hadn't been for them. Probably. But anyway, this guy, after he's made the offer and I accept it, he starts shooting me questions. And I'm like, no, listen here, you clown. This is not how this works. You ask your questions up front, and then if you're confident, you make the offer. But he's like, well, I just want to make sure everything's right. You know, I'm a representative of Vacheron. And, I just need to make sure everything's okay. I'm like, well, if you're a representative of Vacheron, I feel like you would know more than I. But yeah, so I guess I sold the Vacheron to Vacheron.
No take backsies.
Right.
Absolutely not. But, it cleared eBay's authentication. It's in the hands of the customer. I've got my money in my account now.
There you go.
Happy story.
There you go.
We need to do an episode on shipping stories gone wrong. I mean, we could fill so much time with that.
There's a couple.
Be fantastic.
Next week.
Yeah, next week for sure.
This is a teaser for next week's episode.
Okay, we could do this for hours. We got to keep going here. What's on the wrist, Joe? What do you got?
I have got on the Deep Sea B on Gray Tropic. Just got a new battery put into this, and I love it.
For those that aren't looking, it's the Accutron Deep Sea B, not to be confused.
Yes, not the Bulova Deep Sea B, of
yes.
which I also have.
Yeah,
this one got the different. This is a later version. It doesn't have the pumpkin loom on it, but man, they're good. Crown at 4, 218 movement. Not a locking crown either, just a pressure fit crown. It still was 666 feet. Supposed to come on the shark skin? Yeah, shark skin leather, which I refuse to be involved with because
which you have.
I do have. I've got the complete set, but you will never see it because divers don't belong on leather.
It's an exotic leather.
Look, if God didn't want divers on leather, he wouldn't have put leather on fish. Okay, all right.
Michael and I are sharing the same thought.
Yes, what he said. That.
But I agree though. Oh my gosh! All right, we saw Michael's. He's wearing that cool orange and black Accutron.
New DNA.
Yeah, Casey, we can't see it, but you can describe it.
Yeah, I'm wearing one of my only Swatch products. I've got that Scottish Swatch. While it's loud as hell, actually, it's kind of growing on me.
Is it
not worth the money?
No,
but I did buy a new Swatch.
Another new one?
I did. Like I can't talk about it, so I guess I'll have to wait.
Oh man,
hold on. Just tease us. Is it a collaboration watch?
It is a collaboration watch. But it's not the one you think, and it's not like the hype beast. So if you
did you buy the Simpsons? Did you buy the Simpsons donut watch?
Yeah, I did. Absolutely. I love the Simpsons.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, that's fair.
All right.
Hey, that was $110, which I believe is fair for that. Sorry, I didn't cut you off.
Oh yeah, that was pretty. That's a pretty good one. I like that one. I got the Accutron Snorkel 2. Kind of hard to see on the camera here.
What
today
strap is that?
So today is Daylight Savings Day, which is the worst day in a collector's life because you have to change time on all your stuff. So I did kind of some bracelet and strap changes. This is the President bracelet that was on, I'm trying to center in the camera here, that was on the parking meter.
Yeah.
So I put it on here and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a really good look on bracelet.
That's good.
The reason why I took this off the parking meter is because I finally, months later, found the pouch that contained both the 2-piece Lunar Pilot NATO strap and the original brown leather strap for the parking meter. So I put that back on, took that off, put it on. So there was some musical straps going on here.
Musical straps.
Just to change things up. And it gives it a whole fresh new look.
It's a good look.
Put a new battery in it today because I discovered several batteries that have gone dead since last time I changed the time on them.
Just like speaking of which, because it's daylight savings time. So this is the Lady G, the
I haven't even ventured that yet.
It took me 20 minutes because I don't have the manual and I'm sitting there just trying to push the buttons and make it work. It was a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Did we get everything? Did I miss anything? No, we're good. Okay. So, on tap today, episode 51. Of course, you can see we've got Michael with us again. And today, I just want to point out, is the eighth time, Michael, that you have joined us on this show. So, thank you.
One more time, you get a free hat.
Yeah, I have my card punched.
Right, you gotta get
So, but it's very cool. We always get good feedback every time.
Is it 8 times?
This is your 8th appearance, yeah.
Crap. Sorry. Wow. Woo.
But it's a lot of fun. We love having you on. You're great conversation. So
I like being here with you guys too. It's fun.
So today we're just talking with you, not really anything in particular, but you just came back from a trip to Japan where you visited the Citizen headquarters out there.
And you were
So we're
hanging
just
out with
kind of
Jack Forrester. How
that
cool is
too.
that?
Very cool. Jack's a very interesting gentleman for sure, and a lot of history in the watch business as well. So it's fun talking watches with him and his perspective.
All right. So what was the trip to Citizen, or were you going to see the Miyota manufacturer? What were you doing in Japan, man?
A little bit of everything. Normally, I do head over in October. We usually have a meeting, a group meeting, worldwide meeting in October at headquarters in Tokyo. And so that would have been always normal, but this year was a little bit different. I think I may have mentioned on some of the other calls or shows that we are hard working on the 150th anniversary documentary, and so we've been shooting a lot of that over the last
Wait a minute.
He
You're
year.
hasn't
doing
mentioned that to us. This is
Yeah,
news.
you're doing a documentary?
We're doing a documentary on the brand, on the Boulevard brand. Yep, for the
I didn't know that.
150th anniversary, which will be in 2025. So I can't believe it's right around the corner at this point. We've been talking about it for over a year and a half. So part of what we did on this last trip was we went to some of the movement manufacturing factories where we're making precisionist, where we're making electrostatic, where we're making curve. And we had our film crew who was working on the documentary to go there. So
That's cool.
yeah.
So they're not all done at the same manufacturer? I would have assumed that they were all done at the same place, but apparently not.
No, there's several different Miyota locations throughout Tokyo. So the one that we did go to does electrostatic, precisionist, and curve.
Okay. That's interesting. So everyone knows about the different Seiko factories, right? And the competing that was going on between Grand Seiko, King Seiko, all that type of thing. Is Citizen doing something similar, that the different factories are producing different movements, and not that they're competing against each other necessarily, but
no competition.
right.
It's about a competency, expertise. So they have expertise in what are you doing, Mike?
Taking pictures of you.
What is he taking all pictures of himself?
No,
Taking selfies while we're having a podcast.
He's trying to get the good angle up his nose. It's really
I thought, okay, the first time he said what?
I'm trying to get like
Do you want to
behind
be
the
alone
scenes.
for a while, or
See, and this is why, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't watch on YouTube, you need to, because this is the weird stuff that you get to see that goes on. I'm just trying to get it behind the scenes of everything going on that's in front of me here.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for the explanation, because people think you're really weird.
Yeah. We wouldn't want that now, would we?
No, heaven forbid.
So, Joe, it's about the different locations where we're making certain watches would be just about expertise in those facilities and equipment that are in certain facilities over others. Like the electrostatic movement is made in a zero pressure, dust-free room, and so that requires a lot of machinery and equipment, outside of this room to keep that room totally dust free. I mean, you have to enter into it by being basically vacuumed through these kind of looks like security at the airport, but you go in these pressure lock room, and this high pressure air blows on you before you can go into the next room. So
and that's, I'm assuming the pictures we saw where you're in the full suit and everything.
Right.
All zipped in. Yeah.
You can't go with street clothes without having the protective thing over you, hairnet.
Because it was either that, or you had just gotten some kind of disease, or you were going to be making meth, or you were painting. Is one of the those are all the considerations.
It could have been all three.
Right.
depending on what
happens in
order.
Tokyo stays in Tokyo.
Exactly. So so that's how they, that's how they decide, what goes where in terms of what's being manufactured where. But
So you mentioned the precisionist factory. When you came on, I don't remember what episode it was, but back a couple of episodes, you talked about the precisionist going under further testing for better accuracy specs. Is that still going on, or have they achieved that, or not quite yet?
still going. It takes literally it takes amount of time in order for them to do the testing so that they can come out the other end of that time period to say whatever the new claim is going to be, let's say, right, plus or minus X, so that it can be fully vetted. So we probably have another couple of months there.
Okay.
But the testing and observation, because it's really about observation, observing the movement over a set period of time and making sure that it's performing to the levels that they want it to perform.
I know that there's been a big, I wouldn't say necessarily a push from enthusiasts, but there's been a lot of popularity with the return of the three-hander precisionist movements.
Mm-hmm.
And relaunching that with the Jetstar line. What are the plans for that movement? Are there going to be other iterations? Will we be seeing that more?
Definitely seeing that more. You'll see it coming out in Marine Star now in this coming spring season. We have a new body type for Marine Star that'll be coming out, and it'll be the first time that we put a precisionist movement in Marine Star. Mm-hmm. So that's super exciting. Watch looks really, really good.
It looks really cool. Yeah.
I think the hit.
I think the one that I saw was kind of like a yellow tone to it.
Yeah.
It's rose gold. It's a rose. So it's rose. It's not yellow. Yeah.
Okay. There's just bad lighting then of the picture that I saw.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probably.
It's funny because depending on lighting, plating can look different.
It's so true though. Even if you look at some of the renderings that are, and some of the not quite the press release photos, but the pre-release is like the GMT. The GMT was one of those that were trying to figure out exactly what color the case was. And when you get it in hand, I'm like, oh, it's a little different. It's kind of cool though.
Well, so and that root beer is really a unique tone. That root beer is really a unique tone. It's really a nice it's a soft plated.
Yeah, that root beer is amazing.
Yeah. So let's get off topic here real quick for a second, and while we're kind of on the topic of what we're talking about, because I seems to get a lot of questions lately about the IP coatings. What's the difference? Like, how far has the coatings come between the old gold plating versus what the new IP coatings are for, that root beer that you're talking, for instance, or the Loom Dial Devil Diver, or the Marine Star, being that it's going to be rose gold? Like, how, and the question I get is, how durable are the new coatings? What is your guys' kind of experience with the new stuff?
Very durable. I mean, the IP plating, because the process that it goes through is that the plating is actually penetrating the top layers of the stainless steel. So it's not sitting on top. In the old micron plating days, it was sitting on top of metal. So like if you hit a watch really hard, you could see a scratch, and you could hit the base metal, eventually. In the case of IP plating, since it's penetrating the top layers of the steel, it really is a durable bond on it. I have to say, we really, again, and Japan, who really oversees all of our QC, they're really, really tough. They're really, really tough.
I gotta say too that the first one of the GMT that you sent me was the sample, and there was no wear on that at all. Like, it had been the crown didn't screw in exactly right, but the coating itself, there was no mar, there was no flaw on it whatsoever. So it was like it was put through paces, and people got to mess around with it, and it held up really, really well. I was impressed. I still am. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I wear a lot of watches that have been, IP plated, over the last, I'm here 8 years now, I have to say, and they really stand up. They really hold up nicely.
Yeah.
So it's more of a molecular level type of bonding rather, because even myself, I was under the impression that it was more of like so it's not like a powder coating type of setup.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's really like a physical vapor deposition, PVD. It's either, some people call it PVD, some people call it IP, but it's the same process in which the application is going onto and into the top layers of the metal that you're. In our case, we only use 316L stainless, so it's going into the stainless steel. So it's not sitting on top; it's penetrating through.
Yeah.
It's part of at that point.
Yeah. Like we have a lot of black, we make a lot of black IP watches. I mean, and in the old days when I first got into the industry, those were most were black micron plated, sorry. And what would happen with black watches where they looked horrible after,
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
the Hoyers, the Dark Lord and the Monza, and trying to find one of those that looks good after this amount of time. It's like the edges are not. Yeah.
You'd see the white. You'd see white because
Mhm.
the plating, the black chromium plating, was just sitting on top of
Right.
of steel, assuming they were using steel. And so the moment you bang that watch on your desk or whatever, if you took it, if it gave it a nice shot, you'd see the white underneath it. You don't see that today in any of these black IP watches or whatever color you're plating in. That's the other thing. Colors now, there's so many colors, whereas years ago you really only had a couple of colors. Now you have a lot of different colors.
It's a neat little world that you can kind of delve into because you've almost got the full spectrum that you can mess around with. Yeah, so like the watch that you're wearing has got the black IP coating on it as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Got the case. The case is IP.
Yeah. Those are cool. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good, man.
All right. Another question, which you answered for us personally before recording, but I know because we've talked about it through various episodes and people are going to ask, any updates on the tuning fork?
I had a drink before the question. Yeah. So the tuning fork work continues in Japan. They are very painstakingly, working on this project. It's not an easy project whatsoever. It really will be in the long run, if and when we can produce a commercial viable, movement. It will still be very hands-on, meaning very much handmade. I think the fun part of it is that it will be a tuning fork movement. It will have the wheel, with the 360, cut teeth in it. I mean, it's really going to be the authentic version of what we've known as the original. In this case, it'll be a 218 because it won't be a 18. It'll have a crown. But it's moving along. I mean, I'm gonna throw out a date and say, to be safe, 2026 is probably the year in which you could see finished watches coming out, with a tuning fork movement. If
there's a watch.
If everything works in terms of, there's a lot of things that still are being worked on, magnetism, water resistancy, shock resistancy. This movement has to go through its paces. We have a prototype case that's being worked with. It's being worked on in a prototype case to see how it performs. Accuracy, all the things that, we all know we want in a good watch. So, and it's not going to be an inexpensive watch. It's going to be probably around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When anytime that you do any of the current valuations, like what was this watch? This is a 218 movement. What did it? And it's from 72. Like what would it cost in today's dollars? Like it's a big number. It's a big number, but man, considering what it could be, that's a pretty cool prospect. That's interesting.
We're each 6 months now. Each 6 months. This has been going on for several years. But each 6 months, and I would say this was the last 6 month update. This last trip, we're passing gates, right? We're passing through another gate. We passed through another gate in terms of how things are progressing. So it's exciting because I can see the finish line.
It's such an interesting idea that we're looking at a technology that is ancient in terms of technology. I mean, this is the late 50s is when this stuff started, and it was cutting edge then. It's still kind of cutting edge now. You've got all the issues with accuracy, everything, but to sort of reinvent that wheel, for lack of a better term, and then to see if it could be a viable product. It's an exciting project. I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully the documentation of that process has been ongoing, so that we could all, maybe there'll be another documentary how we did it again.
That's funny. Phenomenal. Yeah, Joe, we talked about that. When I was there, saying that we'd have to come back with a film crew to do a making of that particular story. So I think we definitely will do that.
That's neat.
Well, that's cool. That's cool that it's still moving forward. You guys are still making progress in it. It's still something that's hopefully going to happen. I'm really curious to see what it goes in, what designs you guys have for that movement. I think it's just going to be super cool.
Obviously, there'll be a space view version. I mean,
there had to be. Yeah, there would have to
be. So you don't have to take a big trip on that one. That's that's sure. And
if all this time you're putting into it, all the effort, if you don't showcase it, what's the point? Yeah.
Right. Another display case back at minimum.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we can have some fun if in fact we can do a clear back as well. That would be different and cool. Maybe even use a sapphire case, where the whole case is sapphire, clear sapphire.
There you go.
Where you can really have a 360, view of the movement. So yeah, I mean, but your point is right, Mike. I mean, that's work that still has to get done. We're not fully there on design.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So moving back to, I guess, what we were discussing. Precisionist, you said the Marine Star is kind of next in line to have the Precisionist put in it. Anything else on the horizon for Precisionist after that? Or not quite yet.
I mean, we're looking at everything, that where it makes sense. I mean, certainly there'll be a few more iterations of Jetstar, obviously. There's definitely some more fun that we can have with Jetstar.
Which always makes me happy.
Yeah, probably I can see a classic, kind of more of a classic case watch. Although Jetstar is kind of classic also, but maybe even more traditional classic as opposed to Jetstar, which is kind of quirky retro. So we could see something, possibly, there. But that will really pretty much cover. Oh, that's the other one. Sorry, Millship. Millship is one that we're playing around with and bringing a Millship version with the precisionist movement in it.
Really?
Wow. Did not see that one coming.
No. Wow.
Jack Forster liked it too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of speechless here. I'm in my mind, it pops up not the mill ships that we know today, but I'm thinking like a, quote unquote, like a bathyscaphe kind of version of it.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's
That's
cool.
that's my thought. Interesting. Stay tuned for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be out probably in 25. Certainly won't be next year.
Wow, that's fun. Okay.
25 is going to be such a cool year.
It's gonna be a problem, man. I need to start saving.
25 is going to be really sick. I mean, we have a lot of things really in the pipeline, and it really will start, late 24. We'll start dropping probably like the first one, late 24, and then take us, all the way through to 20, all of 25. 25, almost like every quarter we'll be dropping, a new watch or watches.
Oh, man.
That's
Man,
cool.
that's cool.
Going back to Marine Star Precisionist, what's the case size going to be on that? Do you know?
It's going to be, I think, 40.
Okay, so it's
Same as the Jetstar, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. The picture that I saw of that's cool. I like that one. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Nice size, nice case, new case, iteration. Marine Star is just such an important collection for us. We do so well with it. So I'm excited for that too. I mean, I think it's going to do really well. And then the other big one coming out in early spring is the Lunar Pilot. So
yes,
the Lunar Pilot franchise will continue to have some fun. This time, a meteorite dial with a very specific provenance.
Okay, but hang on. Because so meteorite dial, that is not something you can just go get. That's not an Amazon purchase. I can't have that shipped to me.
Why not? Elon's already working on this.
Oh, it's okay. Harvesting meteors.
With any luck, Joe, one will just fall into your backyard.
Well, I mean, there is that. It just came out of the sky. Where do you get meteorite from? How do you?
There's a company that we partnered with that there's some of the other higher watch brands also have used meteorite dials on and off.
Of course, they're all over the place. But
so this company, they have mined the meteorite. They guarantee and underwrite the provenance of said meteorite, and then they sell you the material. You buy the material to then go off and make dials out of the material that they're selling us. So
I'm assuming it's an LE. It's a limited edition, right?
Yeah, that's a limited edition.
That was my question.
It's gonna have a super titanium case. So it'll have.
Okay, all right. That has my interest already.
Nice. Casey's interest.
It'll be on a strap, and it'll have the usual, Lunar Pilot, bells, and obviously it's going to have the high precision quartz movement, and it's going to retail for, I think, $1,400.
So another thing that was brought to my attention, the scale, the tachymeter scale on the outer edge is printed differently than all the other Lunar Pilots are. Is that by design, or is that just like a prototype, or is that how that's going to come? Different. The numbers are all turned.
What did you see? I don't know what you saw.
Well, I'll send you a picture of what I have.
All right.
But keep talking amongst yourselves.
Yeah, you know what? Yes, you're right. You're right, Mike. Because the meteorite, the dial, it's a little bit different internal construction in order to use to make the meteorite dial. So the outer ring is printed in black, it's a darker color than the meteorite, which is like a light gray. And each one is different, by the way, which is super interesting.
Right.
Each watch is going to be like a fingerprint, each
Yeah.
watch will be different.
Yeah.
So no two watches will be exactly, alike.
That's really special though. In terms of like what that watch is, that's cool. That's really neat.
Yeah, and it keeps, this franchise is super important to us, obviously, and we will, continue every year at least, one watch, if not maybe two, as much as we can handle. Since this is a limited edition, this will go quick. They all go quick on the Lunar Pilots.
A lunar pilot with a meteorite dial. It's not moon dust as Joe would like to see, but it's the next best thing.
Exactly. It came from outer space at one point.
Yeah.
I'm on board. I'm on board. It'll work. Sign me up.
I think one of the things that going back to Japan. Sorry, I know we're all over the place today, but I think one of the great things coming back from this last trip is really the state of the watch business in terms of, I think, our group, and this is not a PR or statement, but I mean, I like what I'm seeing in terms of development, right? I think it's really interesting, that the group is investing in trying to, recreate the tuning fork movement, the investment in, really rolling out more precisionist movements. Again, not a super easy movement to make. And some of the other things that they're working on, in terms of research and development. And that's not something that you see coming out of the watch industry necessarily in terms of movements.
There's been some interesting developments. Like Citizen has been doing some fun stuff. There was just a new release, the Frederic Constance hand finish stuff. There's some really from the group itself, not just from Bulova specifically.
Yeah, it's the group, and believe me, we all are, in terms of the movement prowess. We're it's no different than the Swatch group with ETA, right? I mean, we're all, partaking in the development that the group is making. Otherwise,
there's some really big strides that are being made, and I think that there's a positioning that's going on within the group that's interesting. Like, Alpine has had some fantastic releases in the last couple of months as well. So it's neat to watch. Like you watch all these, it's like watching siblings kind of flourish all of a sudden. It's like it's cool, but your turn's coming soon.
Yeah, but
soon.
In terms of the watch industry, I mean, I again, being someone who worked in the Swiss watch industry, most of his life, it's really amazing the work that's being done in Japan. And really, I think the Japanese in general, not only our group, I think even the other brands or the other groups as well, are really coming on strong. And it's very you can make the argument. Maybe some people in Switzerland will be upset, but you can almost make the argument that a lot of the innovation today is coming from the Japanese side of the watch business, even more so than the Swiss side of the watch business.
Well, there's an interesting idea that's going on, because you've got the Swiss have been sitting on development for a really long time. Like in terms of strict movement construction and changes, there hasn't been, like with the Valjoux, 7750 has been forever. It hasn't changed. It's still being produced to a certain extent, and it's still being in use. Miyota is doing changes. Seiko is doing changes. So you've got all of these developments.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, but then also, like, there's this level of micro brand that's happening, and the Miyota movement, Seiko movements, but even micro brands that are doing their own construction within Japan, and they're using the same finishing techniques. Like, Citizen has been known as a titanium constructor, and the stuff that they've been doing in titanium, which has been used by U.S. government and NASA and whatever else. I mean, there's stuff that's going on outside of the watch industry that's just kind of amazing, and the watch industry kind of gets to use bits and pieces of that technology, and here we are. New things are happening, changes are occurring, and accuracy has started to really increase. It's a neat journey. It's a fun time to be involved in the hobby.
Also value for money. I mean, I think that's the other part that Japan, they're putting out, and again, I'm talking about the whole industry that's over in Japan. I think they're doing a really great job of putting out high quality product at a value, and a really good value.
Yeah.
I mean, the again, being there and seeing, the painstaking work that's being done and how detailed and careful, quality wise, quality control wise. I mean, again, I would challenge other parts of the world if they're at that level.
It's a fascinating conversation to have about what the status of the watch industry is, where things are going to be going next, what the future can hold, and who are the rising stars, who are really maintaining, who are sinking, how the fortunes of the watch industry turn.
Mm-hmm.
Much like the days of our lives, the sands of time, and
there you go.
All right, what's your you got one more, Mike. What was that question?
What question, Joe? Remind me.
You sent this. We got this watch here, right? The Bulova Pistache.
The one that I just sent you? Yeah, so that's another one that we saw.
The Surveyor watch.
It's similar to that.
I sent it to you too.
That green dial, sort of an olive green, a pistachio colored dial. It's a 23 jewel movement. What's the story there?
Yeah, no, those are great little watches that are coming out in spring. It's part of the Surveyor collection.
That's good, man.
It's really nice quality, under $400 US retail, mechanical watch.
Oh, see, I'm gonna have to buy that one. That
color
is really good.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. And I like the Cyclops on there too. I think just adds a little bit of class to it. That polished case, everything about that watch is it's a really good one.
Yeah, no, it's just a solid, again, these are, we always mindful about price points, and we don't always want to be up here, and we don't always want to be on the bottom either. So when we roll out new watches every year, we try to be mindful of touching all price points, and all different levels, all different levels of watches. That the one on the strap, the pistachio dial on a strap, I think is $425, so a little bit over $400.
Fantastic. That's gonna be so good. That's gonna be
that's not bad at all.
The bracelet's under $500 with sapphire crystal on all of them, Cyclops on the date, which we actually haven't had a Cyclops in.
You haven't done it in a while.
A long time. Yeah, it's been a long time.
I like it because it's such a cool touch that just hasn't been around for a while.
Just a nice classic watch. Nice Miyota mechanical in there. So I think it'll do really well.
What's the size of that one?
I believe that's 39.
Oh,
it's gonna be so good.
On.
It's gonna be so good. Yeah.
Every graduate gets one. Here's your degree. Here's your.
If it's not 39, it's 40. I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top, but in my head. But it's right in there. 39.
Right
40.
in there. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Anything else that you want to share from your trip? Any other stories that you wanted to get out?
We had a fun time with Jack. We had talked about Jack Forster earlier. He made the trip with us, part of the trip, those days. He actually fell in love with my mill ship. I was wearing the mill ship, and I lent it to him.
All
So
right, do you have the LE? Was it the LE or was it the?
no, it was the regular. It was the
That's
regular.
the one.
Yeah,
That's the one.
the regular version. And he just started wearing it, like halfway through the trip, and just he couldn't stop talking about it.
He loves that one. So
It's
that's
a
yours that
cool
he's
watch,
wearing, 'cause
though.
he's
I
been
gotta
wearing
tell
it quite
you,
a bit.
He posted up about it.
He did.
Yeah.
he did.
He wrote a story about it. So that was fun. I was just, you know what, it's fun. Jack can, when you think about Jack and all the brands that he's written about, the watch, I'm sure the watch collection that he has at home, everything else. And it's fun for me to see him get excited about a little Millship watch. And really he loves the story behind it, obviously, as well. So that was a fun part of the trip to see him get all excited about it.
Huh.
It's a good piece. I really do enjoy mine. I gotta say, and the whole point that he brought up about the 16 millimeter lugs, which people I know who are into that style of watch, and so they're talking about the 50 fathoms, they're talking about the Tornik Raybill, they're talking about all the various reissues. A lot of the reissues have been gone. They've done a 20 millimeter. It doesn't work quite as well because the Millships is the original spec, and it was a 16 millimeter lug on the original spec. It makes the watch look huge, but it doesn't wear that way because it's still not that big of a case. It's a fascinating little exercise. Like, you shrink the. Now, I will say, finding aftermarket straps is a pain. You're limited. However, I'm satisfied. I'm happy with what I got. So I think it was a really good move.
It's one of those things that just does not make sense on paper.
No.
But when you are in person with it, you don't even notice it. You don't even notice it. And what you do notice is like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Real quick, the documentary. When is that set to come out? Is that late 24 or is that going to be a 25 thing?
No, I think we don't have a date yet. I mean, the film is not finished shooting yet. There's still a couple more, excuse me, interviews that have to be done. Edited probably starting in December, going through the first quarter of next year. I'm thinking September of 24 will premiere the film. And the idea is that we'll premiere the film, obviously, in New York.
We're available. Just saying. Throwing that out
Okay.
there.
All right, you're invited. It's official. Yeah, you have me recorded.
Got it.
There you go.
It'll be September, Joe, though. You'll be back at school. You won't be able to come
I
over.
can make an exception. I got sick days saved up. It'll be fine.
Okay. All
Don't
right.
tell anybody.
It's just between us.
Right, just between us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking sometime around September ish. Just have to find the right date. And of course we'll have a cool venue somewhere in New York City to premiere the film. And then the idea is to also pitch the film to streaming. So we'll have it available on streaming, and
that was going to be my next question, is how it could be viewed.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll have it available so that it can stream and live somewhere, online.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Yeah, super. We were going to do a book. That was the original conversation. Was we had the book from 2016, the one that's behind me, and we said, oh, we want to do another book, and then we said, you know what? It's at the time it was 2021 when we started the discussion, and we said, you know what? Let's go for the film. Because the film, gives it a different opportunity to tell the story of the brand. So
it'll live differently too, because
travel. And we have some really great interviews. We've been able to really get some really important people that are part of the history of the brand, to speak about the brand on the film. So that's really great also.
Nice.
That's going to be so cool to see. Yeah. Looking forward to when that comes out.
Soon.
Yep.
Soon.
All right. Last calls. What do we got? Joe, you got something.
My car died. I'm in the market, potentially, maybe a new engine, maybe a new car. So if anybody happens to have a 2008 Mini Cooper R56 engine sitting in their pocket somewhere, let me know. Just throwing that out there for our tens of viewers. Just can't hurt. Just saying.
Hey, you never know.
Right?
You
You
never
never
know.
know. You never know.
By Wednesday, you could have an engine delivered to your house.
See, it just suddenly shows up with a 218 movement inside of it. It'll be great. Humming right along.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
That'll be your new dash clock.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. That's it. That's my last call.
Casey's been pretty quiet. We can't see him. We haven't really heard much from him. What do you got, Casey? Anything last call?
Well, I guess in a similar vein, I actually had a listener reach out, and he offered me a case back for my Bulova hack watch.
Oh, really?
So the one I got from Dave, because again, Dave gifted this to me.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, it's essentially cobbled together out of legit parts, but he only had a civilian case back. Of course, I mean, I was very great, accepted it's a great gift. Anyway, so a listener of the show just was like, hey, I have a spare military case back. Do you want it? And I was like, absolutely.
That's
so
cool,
now,
man.
Whenever that does arrive, I'm probably going to put together some little packet to send up to him, maybe, unit patch and coin as well. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the history of those watches, with the fact that they were interchangeable, they were repairable by very, very minimal. All the parts from all the manufacturers, everybody could kind of swap in and out, and that's cool. That's really neat.
Yeah, and I mean, Dave said, hey, it's not 100% the way it would have come, but honestly, I'm not bothered by that in the slightest. Again, my comparison to my father's Mustang, that is not the way it came from the factory, but the fact that it's a 65 Mustang still on the road, that's awesome. In the same way with this military watch.
Yeah, that's cool. Good for you, man.
Real quick, my last call. I have sort of in a roundabout way reached out to Perpetual Straps. You might know them for their cost-effective moon swatch fitted rubber straps. And I've always been very curious if they would fit on the Lunar Pilot. Well, they sent me a care package inside of which was a fitted rubber strap. This is meant for the Omega case. However, it does, with a little finagling, fit. This is the 45 millimeter Lunar Pilot, and it looks fantastic. I love the way this looks. I don't have as good a camera as you guys do, so I can't get real close to it. But kind of started the conversation of, hey, there really is no market for these. There really is nobody providing a fitted rubber strap for the Lunar Pilot. You might want to jump on that. So
it's not like there's a new meteorite dial coming out or anything.
Well, here's the issue. I would assume the meteorite dial is the new case size, the smaller case size.
43.
Yes, it is.
Correct in that? Okay.
That's correct.
So this strap will fit the 45 millimeter case that came on strap or NATO. The newer 43 millimeter case size that comes on the bracelet, the holes for the links are in a different position, and this will not fit that particular case. So
like they need to change their mold.
I'll have to send Perpetual Straps some pictures and let them know. And I've already told them if I got a loan, one or both of these for them to get measurement and stuff off of, I'd be happy to do that. But I think people would probably want to see straps made to fit the newer size, is my guess.
I would think so.
Even though there's a ton of these 45 millimeter ones out there, like I say, the ones that they have on market now will fit. You do have to curve the spring bars in order for it to fit on these existing Lunar Pilots, the larger ones. But I think if they were to make something that's molded specifically for the smaller, newer case, it would do really, really well. especially in all the different colors that they make, and they do the camos, the digital camo ones, the solid colors like this. You can get them with accent stripes going down the middle, and that I think it's a market that there is definitely a need for something like this for the Lunar Pilots. So who knows? You never know.
Totally agree.
Maybe we
Totally.
got the wheels turning. Yeah.
There we go.
Definitely on the, I mean, just on the old one, there's a lot of units of the old one out there. I mean, we sold a lot of the original one, let's call it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he would have a ready-made market there in terms of a lot of watches out there.
Certainly.
But
Certainly. Oh, without question.
But as we move forward, to your case, if you know, that would be smart of them to also jump on at least a couple of versions already of the new one, because I think you're going to have people who are interested in that. Imagine if Bulova could do it. My God, that would be amazing.
If only we knew someone.
Yeah.
That was interested in straps and aftermarket straps.
It's not easy.
Never stay OEM. Always, you got to start modifying everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gearing up for that kind of production. It makes sense.
Well, is that it?
I think that's it.
Another one in the books.
I think that's it.
All righty.
How do we get in touch, Mike?
So this evening, Joe, Casey, Michael, and myself, we make up the Spring Bar Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Spring Bar Podcast. You can email us, thespringbarpodcast@gmail.com. On a personal level, I am 120 Clicks, all spelled out, one long word, 120 Clicks. Joe?
I'm Watch Taylor Youth, all one word, Watch Taylor Youth, EUPH, KC.
I am time.hack1636.
And then special guest Michael, you are Bulova 150 in celebration of the 150th anniversary for Bulova, coming up to a retailer near you.
Why can't you let him say that himself?
Because I say it so much better.
He really does.
Does he?
I really do enjoy it when he says it. I mean, this is great for me. I just have to sit here. I don't really say much.
All right, Casey, what are we getting tagged in this week?
Oh, man. You know what? How about your best wrist shots with your finest scotch? Whatever your finest or favorite scotch is.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. That'll work.
Perfect.
All right. Until next time, Michael, we have you on sharing more stories and insights and dropping bombs like precisionist mill ships.
Precisionist mill ship.
I always try to give you a little tidbit, guys. You know.
Nice.
Oh, that one's got the gears turning. Yep, for sure.
That's interesting. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be really cool.
All right. Until next time, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.